Hey, what's up, my keto challengers? It's Coach R coming to you on day 6. How are you doing? Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are out enjoying the really beautiful weather today and have plans for this evening. It is Saturday, so I'm going to make this short and sweet. We're going to talk about our tip for today, which is to watch out for hidden carbs. I put a post out earlier today that talked a little bit about some high-level tips when you're out and about and you are at a restaurant, or you might be ordering in, just some things to keep it keto this weekend, okay? Stick with proteins and vegetables, and maybe omit some of the sauces or the creams, unless you know for sure that those are ketogenic or low carb in general. Then I'd probably just stick with deciding to keep them off my plate. Also, in the post link, there is the article that was written for the tip for today, which I highlight about 6 food products that have hidden carbs in them. And you might think, okay, 4 grams, 5 grams here or there is not such a big thing, but I will tell you, if you're eating them a couple times a day, like peanut butter, like Jiffy peanut butter, if you're eating a tablespoon or 2 during the day with your celery sticks, a lot of those hidden carbs, they really add up. Okay, so take a look at that article, take a look at the top 6 things. Some of them might actually surprise you in terms of how much hidden carbs and sugars are in those foods. Okay, so about 68% of the foods in our grocery store, typically everything that's pre-packaged or packaged in the center of a grocery store, has hidden carbohydrates in them. Okay, they're basically sugars, high fructose corn syrups. All of these things allow those packaged foods, those convenience foods, to have longer shelf lives, okay? And so having those and all of the processed ingredients in there is really not something that is conducive to a ketogenic diet. And just to kind of remind you, right? So whether it's carbohydrates like pastas or legumes or beans or rice, or whether it's actual sugar like table sugar or high fructose corn syrup, or whether it's fruit, right? All of those things in our bodies eventually gets metabolized down either in the form of fructose or glucose in the form of sugars or carbohydrates. So they all have the same effect in our body, okay? So irregardless of the form that it comes in at the store, it will all get broken down, and our body, it reacts with our body the exact same way, okay? So glucose and fructose, they're very sticky. And so what happens is if we have too much glucose and fructose in our system and we get high blood sugar levels, because again, our cells have become insulin resistant. Insulin is pumping out in order to drive those glucose or fructose molecules into our cells to be converted for ATP. But what happens when we have too many is that the receptors in our cells actually turn off. Remember, they turn off and then they don't react to the insulin trying to shuttle them into the cells. So what happens is they remain in our blood. High blood glucose. And with sugar, what scientists are proving is that it's actually sticky. So on our red blood cells, there is a protein called hemoglobin. And so what happens is the sugar or the fructose, or the glucose or the fructose, actually binds to the hemoglobin, and our red blood cells have many hemoglobin on it. And so what happens is once they bind to the hemoglobin and get sticky, that red blood cell is glycated, and it starts acting and behaving incorrectly. It becomes dysfunctional, okay? If you have many of those glycated red blood cells, then that contributes to high results in your A1C. If you ever have taken any sort of blood panels and your doctor says, your A1Cs are kind of high, what they're actually measuring is glycated red blood cells, and glycation, again, is when the glucose and the fructose stick to the hemoglobin. And the American Diabetes Association, they consider the A1C test as a approved test to determine if someone is diabetic or pre-diabetic, because it shows how much your other cells in your body are insulin resistant at that point as well. Okay, so the concept to reduce our carbs, the concept to switch to the alternate form of energy, which is ketones and fats for energy, that all stems from the premise that we want to prevent our bodies from getting becoming insulin resistant, because with insulin resistance drives prediabetes and diabetes, which diabetes can then lead to other chronic and more serious systemic diseases like liver disease, and even Alzheimer's. There is a lot of research that correlates diabetes with Alzheimer's. Like I said yesterday, the brain actually, in traumatic brain injuries and Alzheimer's or Parkinson's, the brain actually loses the capacity to uptake glucose for energy, but it does not lose the capacity to use ketones as energy, which is really cool. So this ketogenic lifestyle is really taking care of our body from the molecular level up. And I guarantee you, if you continue with it, if you follow these tips, you are doing the best you can for your body. Okay, so that's it for today. Watch out for hidden carbs. Take a look at that article so you kind of see. Don't let it add up, okay? And just make good choices today. All right, have fun on Saturday. I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. Have a good day and take care.